Hey everyone, it's Leonette. Welcome back to DIY Beauty on Purpose. If this is your first time here, welcome. Alright, today I am working on this beautiful chest. This chest was given to me by a family member, completely free, and I am just going to get it cleaned and ready for some paint, and I cannot wait to get started. So it has veneer, yay! So the veneer is coming off. It was wavy, it was just nasty, it was not in good condition. So I have to remove it. I do not like removing veneer. I don't know if anybody ever does. But honestly, this was a lot easier than my last veneer I had to remove. So I was not as, it wasn't as tasking, but I still had to give it some muscle. It was removing pretty easily with just the tools that I was using and pulling on it. However, some areas were a little bit more difficult, so I had to use the iron and the wet towel technique that I learned from my last one. And when I did that for, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes, because some areas were really stubborn, it did eventually come off. So as I removed some of the veneer, some of the wood came off with the glue, so it created these ridges. I am going to use some wood filler and fill in all the imperfections. So I'm just going to spread it out with the, is that a spatula? I don't know if that's a spatula. But anyways, I'm going to go in all kinds of directions, up, down, sideways, to make sure everything is filled. And I'm actually going to put above and beyond. So it's going to look really messy, bumpy when the wood filler dries. But that's okay because I am going to be sanding it. There's kind of what it looks like. And as you can see, it changes color when it starts to dry. So it's pretty cool. So that's what it looks like. Again, very, very bumpy, but I'll be sanding it with a 120 grit sandpaper and then smooth it out with a 220. I did have to add a little bit more wood filler in just one spot on the top. So while that dries, I am going to start adding primer to the rest of the body of the chest. And this is by Kiehl's in a stain blocking formula, and I just going to cover it in one coat of the primer. Alright, so for the legs, I am using a special, not technique like it's very difficult, but what I'm doing is I am brushing side to side, as you can see. I'm not brushing up and down because then the brush bristles will get inside the ridges and the details of the leg. I actually want that darkness to stay in there. That's why I'm doing a side to side motion brush stroke so that I do not get paint inside the ridges. I want to highlight those details. Alright, so now that the top is fully dry, I resanded that tiny little bit. It's a lot smoother and it's ready to be painted. Now because it is raw wood, I am going to put one coat of a top coat. I'm using the veneer top coat and just one coat just to seal it in and really make sure I don't have any yellowing come through the white. I thought about staining it in a beautiful stain. I normally do that when I have the top like that. However, because I added the wood filler, I didn't know if it was going to stain a little blotchy, so I didn't do that. Alright, so now I am adding the first of 2 coats of chalk paints, and I am using Rust-Oleum Chalk paint in the linen white. I am also using my very favorite chalk paintbrush. I have these products linked down below so you guys can check them out if you are interested. I'm following the same technique with the legs. Again, I'm just going side to side motion to make sure that not a lot of paint gets on the little ridges. Alright, so the 2 coats of the chalk paint is fully dry, and now I am going to distress. Distressed furniture, weathered furniture is my preferred style, so I want this chest to also have that look. I want it to have like a farmhouse, I don't know, look, or maybe even French, kind of old French look. But I wanted to wet distress. As you can see, if you've seen any of my videos, I have done wet distressing on a lot of my furniture. And I wanted to do it, but honestly, it wasn't coming off as much as I wanted to. It was just a little too taskful. Normally, it comes off. You can see it here a little bit more. It's just that paint was not coming off, which is a good thing. You don't want a lot of paint to come off all at once, but it was just not coming off as much. I want this dresser or chest to have a kind of a heavy distress on the details and the edges. So after I attempted to wet distress, I decided to change my technique, and what I did was I used the rag to soften the paint, and then I used a 120 grit sandpaper, and then I started sanding as I would be distressing any other dresser. And then after I sanded, I then went back with the rag and softened the distress. So with sandpaper like this, sometimes you will get it to where it looks a little bit scratched. And in some cases, it's fine. But for this dresser, I wanted it to have a softer distress. So same thing with the details. I'm softening. So with chalk paint, once you wet it, it'll soften again. And so I am using that to then remove the paint with the sanding or the sandpaper, and then softening it with the rag and removing a little extra. I'm doing the same thing with the legs, softening out with the rag, and then I am going to do like a side-by-side motion as well and distressing some of the details. I'm all done with the distressing, so now I'm going to drill some holes. The hardware that it brought, it didn't have drilled holes. It had like a screw, and they were screwed in, so the hole didn't go all the way through. I'm going to be switching out the hardware to some other one, so I needed to screw or drill in a hole. Alright, so now I am sealing everything with the same sealer that I used on the top, the veneer top coat in the crystal clear, and I am using the sponge applicator. It is a phenomenal way to apply a top coat, very easy. Again, everything's going to be linked down below. These knobs I have used in many of my projects. It's probably my favorite crystal knobs. And there you have it, guys. This is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like now. It is absolutely stunning. I love the way this chest turned out. I love how chic, farmhouse, bright it is. Even though it's a bigger, taller piece, it truly has a soft tone to it, because now it's white and it could be used in any room. It has the cabinet on the top. It actually has a hidden compartment that you can hide maybe valuables in the back on the bottom portion of the chest. It's an awesome piece. All right, guys, this is it for today. If you have enjoyed this video, if you've learned anything, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do so right underneath this video. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.